Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight I would like to introduce you to another book. It's a little book review here. And the book is called Portable Magic: Tarot is the Only Tool You Need by Donald Tyson. This is an interesting text, I will say that right up front. Because as we went through the discussion with the Golden Dawn and the concepts that go along with that, which is a lot of ritualistic type magic, not Wicca. This one has almost nothing to do with Wicca. But if you are looking to look at a different way to use ritual and not have to go through all the trappings of tools and all the rest of it, you can actually start. It's better to have a baseline understanding of what ritual magic is, but this is a good book to acquire, maybe give you an idea of what you can do with simple tools. The back is the simplest, or the smallest temple in the universe. The tarot is a miniature model of the universe, which I agree with. All possible subjects and intentions find their expression within the cards, which is what gives tarot magic versatility. Any purpose that can be achieved by conventional ritual magic can be realized by tarot magic, and they say more quickly and easily. Here's the thing. You get out of a ritual what you put into it. So if you have a basic knowledge and understanding of how to perform these rituals, using the tarot as a like a traveling temple is a good extra to have. Using this to me as a primary, you lose some of the emotional response that comes from the ceremony. Our emotions play more of a part in a ritual, mystical intention setting, all of that type of thing. Louise Hay talks about it in a lot of her books. It's your emotion behind it that can make the biggest effect. This is just a really good tool to have if you travel a lot and you just don't want to tote your temple with you, type of a thing. So Donald Tyson presents a complete system of practical ritual magic that uses only the cards of a standard tarot deck. So you need a 78 card deck, which most of them are to be classified as tarot. There are a couple of decks out there that I'm starting to see that have like an 84 deck. If you want a classical tarot, it's 78 cards. Period. There's people who will claim you don't need it. You can have others. Anything less than 78, anything more than 78, those are oracles. They may use symbolism from the tarot, but the tarot is 78 cards. It's fluxed over the years, I get that. But for this type of work, you need the 78 card deck specifically. The correspondence that he uses, because he was actually trained originally in the Golden Dawn, or at least at one point he was in the Golden Dawn. I think, to my knowledge, he still is, but he practices on his own a lot more now than he actively is in the lodge. And so this uses a lot of their symbology for the rituals. It goes through and talks about what each of the 4 elements are, which are exceptionally important to know if you do ritual work. Even Wicca uses earth, air, fire, and water. Knowing how to manipulate and use, and I may say manipulate as in like move, shift, adjust, the elements allows you to create cosmic change, basically. So fire was warm and dry, generally associated with north. Water, cool and moist, generally associated with the west. Air, warm and moist, east. Earth, cool and dry, north. Oops, fire is south. I am really not doing great today. But it goes through the basic of the suits of, like, wands is fire, the cups, water, swords, air, and pentacles, earth. So you have this general build up of information. Then they go through bookmarks everywhere. They go through the zodiac correspondence for the court cards right there. And so you have like your pentacles, your swords, your cups, your white wands. and where they fall within the circle of the zodiac, so you get an idea of what cards are most associated with each zodiac sign. But if you'll notice, each one of the cards has two zodiac signs they associate with, because the cards do not match one, they match two. Like the King of Cups is Aquarius and Pisces energy, so you work with air and water with that one. And then he goes through and breaks down that kind of those practices. He goes through, and to me, if you work with Kabbalah, which is a big aspect of modern day ritual magic, this is priceless. Having which of the 10 Sephiroth is associated with which suit or court cards. Again, it's, if you use ritual stuff, this is a good tool to have. So then we go into the different tarot in the major arcana. The Emperor with Aries, the Hierophant with Taurus, the Lovers Gemini, and these play into placements for your starting of your ritual, because you'll use these in placements when you start practicing or preparing for the rituals. There is, in ceremonial magic, you'll have they call it a triangle of realization in here, little guy. In ritual magic, it's the triangle of manifestation, and this is where some of the less than savory aspects of ritual magic is you're summoning spirits, primarily demons. Don't advise it, but that is what you would be using. So you'll have your ritual circle, you'll have your manifestation triangle, and manifestation in the way he does his work, which is really good. It's what is it you're trying to create. So you'll have one of the tarot cards aligned with what you're working on, and there's ways to go about building the ritual. And the actual ritual methods for, like, if you were to practice this as a set, starts on page 121. The important thing to remember is you're not working a Wiccan ritual with this one. You could probably adapt this for Wicca. I'm not saying you can't, but the way he has his set up, it is for the very much not much more it's more complicated, but it doesn't mean it's more powerful than Wicca. It just means it's more complex, because the shift of the practitioner's emotional state, mental state, it takes you out of your beta brain, the monkey mind, this chattery, noisy thing that you're listening to me on right now. It takes you out of that through the process of the rituals. And that's the beauty of rituals. It takes you out of the everyday and bumps you into the spiritual. That's what you're doing as you're setting the cards with intention. There are things that you say, there are prayers that are repeated. Then you start to get yourself ready. You're visualizing, which is why it's not something you can try as a beginner, but it's better to do the bigger rituals. Use this as a traveling method, or if you just don't have time to set up the whole thing. And then you start to go through the visualizations, you repeat the prayers. In that aspect, because the tarot is not just about divination, and anyone who's ever used it will tell you that, because yeah, it's good for divination, but if you delve into the history, it was meant for magical work. It wasn't just meant for pulling cards and flipping. And I mean, they claim originally it was a parlor game, but they were embedding secrets within the game. So it wasn't just a simple game even from the beginning. This is just a tool to unlock an aspect of the tarot you may never have heard of, because you build your ritual circle, which keeps out the stuff you don't want, builds your power, holds the power, and you do that with cards, specific cards for specific reasons in a circular form. You have what you represent, because everyone is signified by a different tarot card. That's in the center of the ring. Then you have your triangle of manifestation, your out in front. That's where you would have the projection of what you're looking for. What are you trying to manifest? And so you're building this image in your mind, but you're using the tarot out in front of you as a tool to bring the astral into the physical, to connect that physical back into the spiritual, releasing an intention to the universal energy. It's like I said, I'm making it sound fairly complex because it is. Ritual magic is not something you're just going to pick up and learn in a day. There are parts of it that you can learn rather quickly. There are certain exercises to help build along the way that you can pick up pretty easily. But when you look at the Golden Dawns, you can go back and watch my videos on the Golden Dawn. There were parts of it where most people never got past the 4th grade. The first grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade in the lodge. Some people made it as far as the 5th, but it was an exceptionally rare person who was able to access the inner temple, which was the 6th and higher lodge or degrees. And the reason is the average spiritual seeker would take 3 or 4 years just to achieve 2nd or 3rd degree. To achieve 6th for a lot of people, because life happens, it would take you a long time. I mean, I think Israel Regardie, who I talked about frequently, I think he was in his late 40s or early 50s before he made the 6th degree. It's not an easy thing. He was initiated when he was 22, by the way. So it's a time-consuming process because it's a spiritual growth. When you use portable magic, you use the tarot as an aspect of that spiritual growth, you're doing so with an intention of manifesting a need, which is what the purpose of most of this is, but it's also a practice of spiritual discernment, a spiritual growth. It is elevating you from the mundane into a spiritual realm. That's the reason I say with the ritual stuff, especially ceremonial magic, it is not just about, I have this everyday need I'm building. It is about how far are you willing to stretch and grow spiritually, because eventually it becomes so visceral that you put out that intention, you can see the entire thing with the tarot deck, and the manifestations will come much more rapidly. But that's with spiritual growth. That's with practice. So if you are interested in the tarot and you want to take it into a different area, take it a little bit deeper, I do recommend the portable magic. It'll be linked in the description. And remember, you get out of something what you put into it. This is not just a willy-nilly, I'm going to throw some cards on the thing and happens. Nope. Put in the work, practice the rituals, practice them just every day. Like, get into the habit of setting yourself up for this meditation, for setting yourself up for that connection to God, Source, Divine. And with time, with practice, a little bit of effort, you'll notice that things become easier, and you won't even have to look in the book to know what's going where, why it's going there, and then through the process. And the beauty of this kind of stuff is you start with, especially this type of where you use the tarot, you'll start with the basic design that he has. Over time, over practice and experience, you'll be able to adjust it to fit your needs. That's the reason I'm saying is you can adjust this for a Wicca ceremony or ritual. Start here and understand the process. That way you can adjust it safely. And I don't mean safely as in bad. Safely as in you're actually going to get it to work in the other form. So, like I said, if you're interested in that, it'll be linked in the description. I just thought this would be an interesting one to tie into, especially with the tarot talk that I, do frequently. But with that, I will let you guys go. Have a great rest of your day. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and comment if you've ever used this book, if you've ever heard of this type of work before. And if you're comfortable, let us know some of your experiences. I will talk to you guys later.